there have been three reality, or should I say there have been three fantasy that been turned into reality, but it's still fantasy. The first one is homosexuality. Having sex with the same sex is a fantasy, but turned into reality, and it's still a fantasy. And the reason why it's still a fantasy, because it's against nature. Anything against nature is a fantasy. So you have explored the amazing thing of sleeping with the same sex. That's fantasy. And it turned into your reality. The next one, my friend, and it's still in the same grip of fantasy. You decided to change your sex. Now you was Bob, now you're Barbara. You was Bill, now you are Barbara. Or should I say, you become Tom, now you're Teresa. I'm saying to you, my friend, your fantasy that turned into reality is still a fantasy of a person having sex with an animal, which is called bestiality. It is your fantasy that have turned into reality of you having sex with your beast, you having sex with the dog, you having sex with the one that's supposed to protect you. My friend, we're living in the last days. The Bible says, perilous time shall come. They should be lover of their own self and a lover toward God. So a person that say that the Bible said, cast down imagination and everything that exalt to the knowledge of God, bring to captivity. So everything starts with the mind. If you can rebuke that mind, you can live a life of perfection. Now, when I say perfection, a life of purity, a life of, no, I will not do this. That's the kind of life that we should live. We should live in a life of fantasy. You think money gonna fall from the sky. What you do? You go rob a bank. You think money gonna fall from the sky. What you do? You cheat the income tax. And there are people that are living in their fantasy, which is still fantasy, even though it came to reality. And that's a life we're living right now. People love fantasy, love to fabricate things, and the fabrication became real to you, but it's still a fabrication. Marriage, people get divorced over and over and over and over again. It becomes a fantasy, but turned to reality, it's still a fantasy.